getting Javi Baez. You're not getting Ronald Acuna. You're not getting Manny Machado. You could probably get Max Muncy. That's what I'm talking about. When you're going down through these lists, don't stare at the names and get enamored with the names. Look at the numbers. That's what matters. Right? Make sense, Kev? Make sense, guys? So, on down the list, some guys that might be on your waiver wire. How about Cole Calhoun and his 21 homers? He's on 21 homers, guys. Another one. How about Renato Nunez? I'll bet you he's out there. I bet you one of those guys is out there in your leagues. If you need power, if you assess your lineups, and you need power, here's two guys that are just 10 homers off the leaderboard pace. That's value. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. That's the whole point of this. You started this. You paid good money to get into it. Keep grinding. Okay? Average. Let's talk about average because this one's really interesting, right? Here, everything's about power and long ball now. Average kind of goes by the wayside, and there's some guys here. There's some guys here that really might jump out to you that might be available, okay? First off, Jeff McNeil leads everyone. He's at 349. Arnie's boy, Tatis Jr. at 339 is second. Brian Reynolds, 336. Cody Bellinger, a power hitter, hitting fourth in the majors at 335. How about that, guys? Give it up for Cody Bellinger. This list, so Howie Kendrick's the first one to me. Am I stealing your thunder, Royal? I love it though, man. So great minds think alike, right? So it's all getting in the same place. It's just getting there a little bit differently, okay? So as we run down through this list, Howie Kendrick's killing the ball, and we'll get into him a little bit because I want to talk about split stats briefly, okay? But Howie Kendrick is hitting 333 on the year. He can't find the field. I mean, he's a split stat wizard, but he hits from both sides of the plates, guys. Howie Kendrick, to me, if I can get a low ball offer out on him or get him as a piece to a puzzle on a bigger trade, I'm absolutely targeting Howie Kendrick. He's going to play. He's hitting. Okay. So perspective, he's got a better average than Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich is hitting 330. Kendrick's hitting 333. Jesus, Scott Kingery hits a homer every night. I'm watching MLB TV. Scott Kingery, every night this kid. Off of Bueller. Awesome. Back on point. Gotta love this stuff, right, guys? You gotta love this stuff. I breathe it. Ask my wife. It drives the shit crazy out of her. But she loves me anyway. So, average. How about Kevin Newman? Out of nowhere, 326. Okay? Here's the guy, again. If you need average guys, of course, I was all over Jeff McNeil. I'm not doing the pat myself on the back thing. Well, I kind of am. Arnie did it with Tatis. I'll do it with McNeil. But, go out and throw an offer in or make a package deal and try and get Kevin Newman. This kid was, I believe, a first-round pick of the Pirates. He's highly sought after. He's been one of their top prospects. It's all coming together for him. Go out and put a low ball offer on him. Why not? Right? So, I'm not going to bore you guys with all this list. Devers, Blackman, Brantley. But what I want to say, sitting at 17th is a guy who's probably available. And that's what this exercise is all about. It's hitting 310. This guy's a split stat monster. We'll talk about him later. Garrett Cooper of the Marlins. Boy, he's been really consistent from both sides of the plate. So just a guy, again, who might be on your waiver wire. Danny Santana is another one. Look at these lists, guys. Break them down. Filter them down on each category because that's how you're being scored. That's how your leagues are being scored, right? So why not take a look at it? So we'll move on to runs. Interesting thing here. It shouldn't shock you who 1, 2, and 3 are. Number 1, He's leading off for the Red Sox. Mookie Betts with a blah, 80 runs. 80 runs, right? Significant. Mike Trout was 74, and Cody Bellinger was 72. Lead the pack. But there's about 6 other guys right behind him there. I think they're worth noting that are still in the 70s. Freeman, Bogarts, Devers, Acuna Jr., Trevor Story, and Chris Bryant. So, yeah, you're probably not going to get one of those top 3, but if you need a boost in runs, this is why you look at this list. Throw out an offer where you might get a Xander Bogarts, or you might get a Ronald Acuna Jr., or you might get a Trevor Story. Why not throw out an offer, make an effort to boost that area where it's a perceived weakness, right? So, quickly down this list, people that might be on the waiver wire. Marcus Semien with 62 runs is tied for 18th in the majors. Shin-Soo Choo at 61 is at 20. These are guys that you could get as a part of a package deal if you're lacking in this area, and really kind of gain a little bit without really even letting your competition know you're doing that, right? So, moving on to RBIs. This is the surprise of this whole list. Josh Bell has 9 more RBIs than the next closest person is Mike Trout. 84 RBIs by Josh Bell. That's a significant distance between the two. And we're talking about, listen, we're talking about, Kevin, there's only 6 players in the major leagues who have 70 ribbies. Josh Bell has 9 more than the second place player and has 84. Okay? 84. That. You need to focus on that. Guys, go out and throw an offer in on Josh Bell. People don't know how good he is. People don't know how good he is. Take advantage of that. Go out and get Josh Bell. Buy Josh Bell. Okay? RBIs are big. There's a lot of talent up here. The same old. Bellinger, Freeman, Bogarts, Arenado all have 70. There's about 22 that have 60 plus. So I won't go in that list. What I want to take a notice. Okay. Just real quick. I want to talk about Jorge Soler. We want to, and I know I'm going back a little bit. He's tied for 7th in the majors with 25 home runs. Here's the guy, Kevin Soler. Agree with me? Don't disagree with me. You can get cheaply in most leagues. And he's got 40 homer power. Easily. People don't know who he is. He's just been injured. So, it's pretty interesting to me. When you look at these lists, these guys kind of stick out, right? So, let's talk real quickly about some split stats because I want to get into some players. Okay, I'm coming up on 7:30. I want to talk about some players. I'm gonna give you guys a shift in thought to help you win the second half. Okay, win the second half. That's all we're trying to do. Okay, but let's talk about split stats. Here's the one thing I want to talk about. So first off, we'll talk about average versus right-hand pitchers, and I'm not gonna go on and on about this because I feel like there's more important things to talk about. But I do think there's a few things to point out. Okay, so when you're looking at split stats, it's for the reason of breaking down for matchups of the day, for daily, right? But it's also, you have to understand and take into account. So it's not like there's even 50-50 split on left-handed and right-handed pitchers. You're facing predominantly right-handed pitchers. So when you're looking at split stats, the first thing everybody usually goes to the lefties, right? I go to righties. I want to know what's going on with the right-handed hitters. Because if you can hit righties, you're seeing more of them. So when you're looking at splits, you look at that first. Because it's important to understand. They're going to be seeing that about 2/3 of the time. Okay? So I broke this down 100 at-bats. Of course, Yelich is your first legitimate one at 362. But I do want to just do a little side note. Luis Arias is hitting 384. He might be out there on your waiver wire. He's kind of fallen into favor in Minnesota. 384, over 73 at-bats. I think it might be someone you might want to look at. Okay, he leads everybody. Okay? Again, Yelich at 362 is your first established player. I say established, but, you know what I mean. Guy who's everyday player. Charlie Blackmon, number 2, is hitting 348. Brock Holt is kind of a sleeper. He's hitting 340. Bellinger, 339. Devers, 339. Here's what I want to talk about, though. Jeff McNeil's hitting 338. Everybody gushes and they know about Jeff McNeil. He's having a great year. But here's what I talked about him earlier. Guess who else is hitting 338 versus righties? Garrett Cooper. So let's break this down. Garrett Cooper versus Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil has 228 bats. He's got 8 homers. Garrett Cooper has 130. This is versus righties, okay? Has 133 at-bats, and he's got 6 homers. So it sounds like Cooper's going to have a little bit more power, right? Walks. McNeil has 13. Cooper has 16. Cooper's walking at a greater rate than McNeil is. So when you look at it, go get Garrett Cooper. He's unappreciated because he's a throwback, right? But it sounds like he's going to hit for a little more pop than McNeil, and everybody recognizes now that McNeil's a valuable player. McNeil gives you things, okay? Just, again, quickly through these right-handed batters, average-wise, Kevin Newman at 331. Brian Reynolds, boy, they got a couple good young rookies, 333. LeMahieu, 330. Tatis Jr., 328. Danny Santana, 327. Okay? How about power? Let's talk about power. Mike Trout leads everybody versus right-handed pitchers with 24 homers. Yelich has 23. Franmil, 23. Soler has 21 homers off of right-handed pitchers. Okay? So he likes the righties. Josh Bell has 20 homers. Pete Alonso and Cody Bellinger have 20 homers versus right-handed pitchers. Okay? It's significant for a reason I go to 20. Let's go. Let's skip around a little bit because I want to bring the point home. Home run leaders versus left-handed pitchers, and I want to tie this in real quick. Pete Alonso 10, Cody Bellinger 11. 10 and 11 versus lefties, and 20 and 20 versus righties. They're the only 2 players in the majors to hit double-digit homers, hit 20-plus homers versus righties, and 10-plus homers versus lefties. That tells me they're versatile. That tells me they can hit both sides of the plate, right? It's really interesting seeing these lists. Real quickly, some guys that you might want to look lower on the list. Kepler, 18 homers. Donaldson, 17 homers. Keep in mind, again, most of your at-bats is going to be righties. Now, if you have a spot on your bench for these lefty matchers, this is where this comes in, right? Let's talk about lefties, and I want to get there quickly because we're already half past the hour. Ozzie Albies kills lefties. He is hitting 400 against left-handed pitching, okay? Alberto, 397. Eduardo Escobar. Guys, unsung. Go put a bid out on Eduardo Escobar. 8 homers, 388 versus left-handed pitchers. Jeff McNeil is hitting 384 versus lefties. Howie Kendricks, 380 versus lefties. These guys, are really You could target these guys if you want because, jeez, Max Muncy just hit a bomb.